And
Yay.
good morning, good afternoon, good day, maybe almost evening if anyone's on from overseas. We have a fun little show. It was, what did I call it? A Zoom musical with Cary and Robert with a twist. What is the twist? Well, you might find out at somewhere along the lines, but we're going to keep you guessing for a little bit. But we're going to have lots of great music, that's for sure. That's what I'm going to, that's one thing for sure. So we're not going to delay. We're going to get started. I'm going to have Cary open up with something great. And he is playing on a wonderful instrument. We won't tell you which one it is just yet.
Oh.
Okay? Some of you might have to guess. All right? You may have an idea what I'm playing on, so I'll give you a little hint of that. But we'll have some fun. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm going to switch to Spotlight here and take it away. Cary, everybody. Give a round of applause. Yes, I'll be doing that. Applause in the key of C.
So I picked out some of my favorite songs that this instrument has in it. And there's so many great ones. And I picked out this one that's a Carpenter's one called Top of the World. Yeah, I love this one. Top of the World. I always wanted to play it. I saw it in the books for a long time, and then when they came out with the style, I had to learn it. And it's really exciting. This is a real style. In a real style, you can actually play along with the intro. You can play along with the fill-in and the ending. And so I'm going to be doing that. I have the wonderful Karen Carpenter voice, unique guitar, and watch this. I love these real styles. Ready? Watch this, ready?
like that one. I really like that one. You
Isn't
know,
that
it was
great?
funny because I was sitting here and I was thinking, what song should I play next in my list? And you know what I had ready?
What?
I'll show you. It was going to sound something like this.
No, what?
And I thought, wait a second.
No,
He just did
wasn't.
that.
No.
So now I have to do something else. I got my handy dandy Marquee book here. Hopefully he doesn't. I better do it before he decides to do it. I was looking at all the great songs I wanted to play.
I'm going to take all the songs.
So I'm going to play a song called Sway. Now, many of you know this song, and it's been done by many great artists over the years. But I heard a version once by someone by the name of Michael Bublé, or Michael Bublé. How is it pronounced? Michael Bublé. Yeah, Bublé. And if you ever heard his arrangement, it's actually absolutely wonderful. So this arrangement, you're going to hear the band. Let me get this right here. Here we go. This is Michael Bublé's arrangement with his band. But you know, over the years, I've always played this song as a demonstrating tool. So I only played like the first verse, and then that's it. I never learned it past that. So today, live, folks, I'm going to play it all the way through.
Yeah.
So keep your fingers crossed. If I make mistakes, it's just proof that I'm human. And by the way, if you have cameras, I want to see some more happy faces on here, right? I see about 7 happy faces, 8. I play better when I see some more happy faces. And I love it when I catch Gail eating. Okay, Sway. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Woo! That was fun. All right. And going back from Tucson, Arizona, back to Cary Price, everybody. What do you got in store?
So I've got a song. It says it's written by Barry Gibb, Maurice Gibb, and Robin Gibb. Who's that? The Bee Gees. Yay! I love the Bee Gees. They had a bunch of hits, and they come up a real style called How Deep Is Your Love, and it's called How Deep. And we have an electric piano where what they did is if you hit the key a little harder, it has a electric Wurlitzer piano that hits like the Rhodes piano. I don't know if you ever heard of that. And it hits a little harder. It has that little twang in it. And then we had the beautiful choir. Their harmonies in the intro are one of these rhythms that make me feel so relaxed and pictured. I'm laying on the beach somewhere. I'm off and I'm just relaxing, and this is what I hear. Yeah. Yay. Love that.
All right. That was so pretty. You know, back when I was young, when that song came out, that's when I got really the start of getting really
Isn't that
into
great?
music, and that was one of my favorite songs. That, along with "Staying Alive," the whole Bee Gees era. If you remember when they kind of took the storm in the music industry, and you know, I was learning all the moves as a kid and what have you. And coincidentally, Cary, I had my next song set up, and it sounded like this. And I thought, wait a second, he did it again. He keeps playing all my favorites. So I had to come up with something else, and I thought, "How Deep Is Your Love?" That's a beautiful love song, right? So I figured, well, I better find something on the fly here. Oh, "Always on My Mind." Now,
Yeah.
some people know it as Willie Nelson. Some people know it as Elvis. And some people know it as a lot of other people sang this wonderful song, right? But I love this version that they put on this beautiful instrument. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to just play it like I see it, an easy play. Here we go. Take two. I want to do it in the right key. Isn't that beautiful?
Like, is it gonna happen?
That is such a beautiful style. By the way, we should be at least telling them what styles we've been using. I'm kind of just getting caught up in the music. So what I just used was a style called Always in Mind. Obviously, it's perfect for the song Always in My Mind, but it's such a pretty piano style that you can play so many amazing, wonderful tunes with. So I'm going to send it back to Cary here, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that he doesn't keep choosing my songs, but I don't know. Somehow he got a hold of my list, I think. So here we go. Take it away, Cary!
So speaking of Elvis, his last #1 hit, Suspicious Minds. Well, they made his style. His band was so good back then. Later in his career, he had guitar players, fancy guitar players, and bassists, the best of the best. And, well, they made a style called Suspicious Ideas. It's a signature style. And I'm playing this song. I always wanted to play it, and they came out the rhythm. I finally learned it. But then, later in the song, it says, change to waltz. I didn't know what to do there. Well, Bill Curry was here, and I was asking him one day why I had him. I said, what's this rhythm for? What's this rhythm for? And he was telling me. That's how I was learning. He was here one time, and it was just me and him, and he was telling me. And then I got to the rhythm called Blues 6/8, and I said, what's this for? And he says, Suspicious Minds. I said, well, no, we have Suspicious Ideas. He says, no, that's for the bridge. I was like, oh. So I'm going to do it. I've got it. I'm going to I've got Suspicious Ideas. Great background. I'm going to hit the drum variation, and it has the snare drum hitting for excitement. Got a wonderful sax and string they put together for his voice. Watch this. And then I'm going to go to that 6/8, Blues 6/8, and then I'll come back to the Suspicious Minds. Yeah. Here we go. Isn't that great? Now I'll hit drum variation. Yeah. Here it comes. Yeah. Ending. that great?
Oh, that was awesome. That was so great. You almost sounded like you
great
had a lot
back.
of people mad and angry because I had it transposed down, and this is what happened.
Oh, they're kind of.
You know what it was is that I have I'm friends with a lot of ghostly people, and they come back alive whenever you play, and that's what the ghosts sound like when they applaud. Did you know that? But you know, it's kind of interesting because I have my next song set up ready to go here. Let me switch over here, and you know, it's kind of interesting because here is the start of my song. And I thought, well, wait a second, that sounds just like
Hey.
what he just. I just can't. I can't
it
just go get
again.
it past him. So let me find another song here. Okay, you know what? That song inspired me because when I heard you playing it, I noticed in the background it had this really kind of neat guitar picking
Yeah.
sound. Now there was another musician in his day that was known for some great country songs and folk and in that category, folk style, and he did one of the songs was guitar picking, and this style is called Gentle Mind. Now, if you haven't figured it out, I'm playing on this wonderful Lowrey Marquee, Grand Marquee, and so this style was actually a lot of the ones that you heard so far. This style is called Gentle Mind, and I just fell in love with the style because I thought I can play so many wonderful songs in that flavor. But you know, I also decided I can probably play some Johnny Cash songs with this style too because of the nature of it. So I'll do the song that it's designed for, but I'll kind of go off the beaten path a little bit, see if this works, okay? So here we go.
Yay.
Oh, it's having fun. Well, at least I got to find some good ones. All right. Cary's got some cool things in store for you there.
Well, speaking of Glenn Campbell, I picked one too.
You did?
And yeah, this one, I love this song, Wichita Lineman. And this is another one that some music, the strings, it's so like soft country. And I visualize myself, not a care in the world, riding my bike in the sun. And it's just, this is what I hear. This is what relaxes me. And I love the guitar, I love the background, and I like how, you hold the fill. A lot of people say, well, how are you going to do this part where he just, and still you just hold the fill, and you do B flat, C, B flat, it's great. And then he has a twanging guitar coming in, I've got that, they had that in here, and then you even play along with the intro, the ending, I mean. Listen to this. Picture a beautiful sunny day. Here we go. Old Phil. Old Phil. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Ending. Love it.
That's great.
Isn't that great?
Oh, the crowd really liked that one. You know, it's kind of interesting because, let me switch this here. So, you know, Cary was, you know, I played Gentle Mind because I was going to do a little group of songs by Glenn Campbell, but then he had to take it, so I have to choose another one. But, you know, you kind of inspired me a little bit because you were talking about the fill.
Yeah.
And, you know, when the Marquee was introduced, Lowrey's been kind of working on this over the years, I think, and they just got better and better on making the fills do more for the hobby player. And what I'm talking about is, here's a great example. We go back into the late 80s, early 90s, and there was a style that came out that sounded like this. Now, when I started at Fletcher Music Centers, I was told, you better use this style and you better play a lot of Long Swell tunes because our customers love it. But every time I used the fill, it sounded something like this. That gets kind of old after a while, right? So what Lowrey did, you got to remember, back in those days, they had to work with the amount of memory in the computers that they were working with. So we fast forward to when the Marquee was introduced, and they introduced all these wonderful styles that Bill Curry needed more. He needed to do more to make it, if he wanted to sound like it was for that song, he had to make it so that if you're going to play it, at least make it sound like the song. And if you don't, you want to play something else, great. And it required more memory. And so they had to find ways to do it without adding extra buttons. And so they came up with a very clever little thing, the use of the fill that everybody has, or the FX on some of the models, okay? Well, when the Marquee was introduced, what they did is, on a lot of the new styles, if you hold the fill, and I just use my kick switch because I just hold it. I don't have to worry about volume, all that, just hold it the whole time. What happens is it'll go into a fill, and it'll come up with a whole other rhythmic pattern for that song. So take a song like Downtown, for example. And I don't know if you know the name Petula Clark out there. Let me take a look at some of you. See, I have some head shaking. Your parents may have told you who Petula Clark was, right? A little bit before your time. But she had some great hits. The one that many people know her is the song Downtown, okay? Now, I'm going to just count real quick. This song, in easy play, as an example, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 measures before I have to repeat, okay? And so when Bill programmed this style and many others, is if we play the style, play the song, the background does the work for you. It kind of works just like that song. But when I get to the second page here, which is right around here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, almost 16 measures. That's a lot of measures. He designed it so that if you just touch and hold the fill-in the entire time and don't let go, what'll happen is it'll start with the fill of that song and then it'll go into the other part of that song the way it was arranged. So you can't see my foot, but I'll say something. You'll see me do something like that. And the reason why I say you'll see something is because if I lose my eyes off the music, I'll goof up. So I'll just go, hey, you'll know that I'm doing the fill-in, okay? And listen for the fill-in, but the fill-in is not going to be one of those things where it just repeats over and over. It's going to turn it to a whole other style. So here we go. Notice how it even hesitated there, right? Now I'm going to start over. Now listen. I let go of the fill-in. And we'll start again from the beginning. Here we go. Here it comes. Fill-in. Isn't that fun? That is so much fun. Oh, thank you for giving me some great ideas and taking my favorite songs, but that's okay. Take it away, Cary.
I let go of Phil when it goes halfway. I'm going to hold it the rest of the way like you did. I learned something. I love that. I'm excited. I hold it through the whole time. I can't wait to try that. Well, I was going through
the whole time.
What?
I hold it the whole time. Well, starting on that part of the song.
You kept going. I usually let it go, but I'm going to hold it the rest of the way like you did. So I'm finding all these great rhythms in here, and now I found another real style. I love this one. Watch this. The Phantom of the Opera. Dun, 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 dun. this got the intro. This is a real style, so you're able to play along with the intro. You can hold the fill. It goes dun 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 dun. It's got the altar style. I put on an opera. They call it opera diva. I have the Sarah Brightman. I have the Michael Crawford, the Phantom. Everybody's in here. Watch this. Here we go. Hold fill. Yeah. Watch this. Here it comes.
Wow, that was great.
Phantom.
Oh, completely awesome.
Isn't that great?
You know, I'm going to challenge you, Cary. I got a little challenge for you.
Okay.
You know, one thing I love about these Lowrey organs, and like many products out there, is they have these wonderful thing called presets and setups. Now, I did a little research, and I found out that that one that you're playing on there has lots of great presets in it. And I think there were some called Pretty and Dimension, and I think one called Rock and Roll. Can you show off a few of those?
Yes. I'm going to do I'm going to go into the More button and hit the dimension. I'm going to do a few of these. In the dimension, it has a number 1 with 2 arrows around it. Some people have seen that before, have it. These were the latest. They went back and they new technology, and they took a clarinet, guitar, flute, violin, cello, vibes, a trombone, a whole choir, a $300,000 grand piano, a saxophone, and a trumpet, and they reworked it, re-recorded it, and they're the best sounds ever. Listen to this. New clarinet. Isn't that a great clarinet? Then on the lower, the guitar bend, and when you hit it a little harder, it bends the note. Okay. The next one, the violin. Nice sad stuff. Violin, yeah, love it. The vibes, you can hear the mallet. The trombone. And a beautiful choir. I like this. And the sax. And then the Kawai grand piano. They actually took a real grand piano, and they took that special microphone, they hit the low key, each one, soft, hard, hard, harder, and they captured the whole essence.
That's great. That's great. Well, Cary, now you got me inspired. You know, it's funny because, you know, I don't know if this might come as a surprise to you, but let me put this other camera screen here. I don't know if you, but I was going to play today Dimensions as well, but somehow you decided to do that. I don't know how he figured out all my favorite stuff that I was going to play today. Boy, he just, well, and then I mentioned, what else? What Pretty, and then there was Rock and Roll.
I didn't do the Pretty yet. I still got
there's
it.
some of those in there, but all right, why don't you show off a couple of the Pretties?
Oh, okay.
And then well, because I know it's on my list, so more than likely you're going to play it. See, folks, there it is. So, folks, I was going to play it, so pretend it's me playing, but it's actually Cary.
Okay, ready? Oh, here we go. So Pretty, I feel pretty. Pretty woman. So Pretty is a category that was on the Marquee, and I looked at it for a while, and then I finally opened it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's really good stuff in here. And I took out a few of my favorites. There's lovely flutes. There's a trombone with sax mixed together, another great choir. Let's see, this choir is great. And this hymn thing. And the violins. I love this it's called Lovely Flutes. I'm going to do Christmas. They took, they were able to, you can hear the bassoon, the flute, the clarinet. Listen to this. Lovely flutes. Woo. Now I know Robert loves the big band. I love the big band because when we started, all the guys were playing big band. They said, you got to learn big band. And Glenn Miller was the one. And this, I mean, they've finally got, I mean, it's exact now. They have the clarinet, well, the story was, Glenn Miller was writing Moonlight Serenade, and his trumpet player took this trumpet off the stand and hit himself in the lip and broke his lip. Either that or he's at a bar and he got in a bar fight. One of the two, he got a broken lip. And he couldn't play. If you got a sword, you can't play the trumpet. So he's like, now what do I do? So he rewrote the melody with the clarinet and the tenor sax as the melody and the brass as the backup, and that was his sound. And it's called Sweet WW, Sweet Woodwinds. Here, listen to this. Pretty sounds.
That's great.
Isn't that great?
That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, I have a challenge for you, Cary.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I have a challenge for you. I'm going to play a song here, and then I got just a quick little announcement, and then I want you to finish off with a song.
Okay.
And since you're going to finish it, I don't have to worry about you picking any of my stuff anymore. So that'll give you a few minutes to figure out what to do. I want to give it up for Cary Price so far. And thank you so much for taking all my great ideas.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike, so I feel like I'm honored that he... But, you know, what's interesting, we're talking about some of these category presets. And one of my favorite categories on some of the models, you might have gotten a glimpse of this, but let's see here. Did I pick the right camera there? Let's see. Oh, wrong one. You ever push the wrong button on your organ or the computer? Has that ever happened to you?
Yes.
No, okay. You see up there, there's some categories. There's one here called Cascades that I really love. Now, Cascades been a very, very popular feature that many people love over the years. And basically what it does, in short, is when you, and I'll put up that screen, you'll see it has a little @ symbol there. And that's how it identifies with it. But what Cascade does, oh, you can't see it in that screen. Switch cameras again, back to this camera right there. So you'll see that all of the presets have, every sound has a little @ after it. All that does is it identifies that that preset has the Cascade feature. Now, the Cascade, in short, what it is if you think about a lot of the instruments over the last 30, 40 years, they all have these wonderful features called harmony. On the Lowrys, it's AOC and duet and 3-part and 4-part and barbershop, etc. On many products, they call it 3-part or what have you. And traditionally what happens is when someone plays, if they play a full chord with one note with a harmony, it's going to sound like this, for example, with one finger. But not every sound should sound like that when you're playing. So what happens is professionals like Cary, I've seen him do this a lot. And a lot of other professionals, when they play songs like, they don't just go, they do something like this. And they cascade the notes down, and depending on the harmony. So what Lowrey decided to do is they put these beautiful recipes and they put them out through the instrument. And what happens is if you just play your song and you hold one note down, it'll automatically cascade the notes down for you. So, and it does it based on the tempo. So if I'm playing without a rhythm and I speed it up, it'll really make me sound like I know what I'm doing. Watch. And if you have strings,
Wow.
they're nice and subtle. Listen.
I don't think that.
Or sometimes I like to pretty bells. And bells is kind of an interesting sound. It's so beautiful. But if you try to play bells with a harmony, with one finger, what happens is they get a little bit too harsh sounding. So you got to be very careful with that. But what the Cascade does is something like this. So you get all these wonderful Cascade recipes at the touch of your fingertips that automatically do it. I encourage you to stop in the store one day and get a little closer look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. Well, I'm going to play one more little song here, quick little announcement, and then I'll have Cary finish off with some big finale. And I have no clue what he's going to do. It's not on the list. And I ran out of songs, so I know he's not going to pick mine.
I was going to do a rock and roll one.
Okay, well, you're going to do what?
I was going to do a run of the rock and roll presets.
You're going to do rock and roll presets?
Well, just two.
Just two?
No.
Oh, wait. Well, wait. There's more. And then I'll come. Actually, you know what? Wait a second. Did you say rock and roll category presets?
Yeah, I didn't. I thought.
Well, gosh darn it, Cary. I don't know how you're doing this, but it just so happens that one of the things I was going to do was rock and roll. I don't know how he figured it out, but you look, it's right there on the screen. I guess we'll just let Cary do it.
Oh, good. Yay. So this song, I learned, we were learning this when I first started back in '93, and it was too early to play. Our students really, it was my era. It was it's called Axel Smith, synth. And it's from Beverly Hills Cop, Eddie Murphy. And 1984. So if this is your music, watch this. They put that synthesizer sound, and it got the bass. Yay, I did it. And I always liked the Doors, and this has a 60s. Love that. There's a whole bunch more, but.
Oh,
Isn't that
gosh.
nice?
And what's really interesting is I was going to play those same presets, too. I don't know how he figured it out. Well, I'm still going to play another song and do a quick little announcements, and I still want you to finish off with a finale.
Oh,
So
okay.
hopefully you got some time to figure that out. But, you know, I was thinking to myself this whole time, as I was getting all worked up, you know, Cary's playing that song. Gosh, I wanted to play. I was getting all worked up for nothing. And I was thinking to myself, you know, Robert, you should take it easy a little bit. So I'm going to play this next song I'm going to dedicate to myself right now. Maybe to calm me down. And you want to know what song it's called? It's called Take It Easy by the Eagles. Now, earlier, I don't know if you noticed, but when I was playing Sway, and then I did it again in another song. I can't remember where I did it. But I used the Fake It option. Now, I have to tell you, I've cheated a little bit because the Fake It option on a lot of the models, some of you have to tap. Some of the models you get to actually hold the note, and you don't have to noodle your fingers. On here, what I do, I have the option of putting it on the top or the lower or the bottom, and I could just hit the 2 and kind of let it go on its pace. Now, I class myself as a decent guitar player. I played guitar since I was 16. But I never really learned the solo part to this song. And I was trying to do it the other day. Now, wait a second. Why do all that work when I could just turn it on and it'll actually do the guitar solo part? So I'm going to do a little Take It Easy. This is telling me, take it easy, Robert. It's okay. And let me see here. Put on the style that I'm going to use is called, it's called Take It Easy. That works out great. Let's see. Let me get the right sound. All right, got a nice guitar. This song, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people don't believe me when I say, when I read music, over 30 years of learning, I've never really properly learned traditional music. In other words, music without the letters written into it. Okay, I always like easy play, and then I memorize it. And I just realized this doesn't have any letters in it. It has just a chord. So I'm going to fumble my way through it, but I'm going to take it easy along the way. All right, so here we go. Gotta make that face. Okay, so I forgot to tell you what the twist was. Well, the little twist, it's not really a big twist, or maybe it is a big twist. Do you know what the organ that Cary and I have in common? Because if you look at them, this is this one, and the one that Cary is on looks different. Well, let's see, this one looks a little different. Well, here's what they have in common. They're both called Lowrey. Okay, well but this is a Marquee, and he's playing. Now, some people are familiar with a model called the Lowrey Liberty, which is a phenomenal product in its own right. But what he's actually playing on is a model called the Lowrey Liberty Gold Star. And what the Liberty Gold Star is, where's my thumb up coming up? I can't move my hand down like that. I do hand motions, and these little things show up on my screen. What the Liberty Gold Star is basically a Lowrey Liberty that the Lowrey Legacy Company that we work closely with, and you'll see a list there. Actually, let me do this. There's a list, let's see, Liberty. I'm going to have to get royalties for that. So if you look at that list that Cary was holding up, you'll see that this instrument is an instrument that's a product of what's called a transformation. And a lot of people that have organs like symphonies and patriots and liberties or what have you, sometimes they like the idea of owning a Marquee someday, but sometimes maybe it's something that doesn't fit in their budget, or maybe sometimes maybe they like the way that their instrument looks. They're so used to their panel. What you're looking at is a lot of styles that were added to the Liberty Gold Star, and you're going to also notice a lot of the ones that Cary played today happen to be the ones on the Marquee and the Grand Marquee. So we have some really wonderful options available for those. If someone has a Liberty or a Symphony or an instrument of that type, and maybe they like the idea of owning an instrument that offers what a Lowrey Marquee offers, okay? But they want the style of the cabinet and the panel. Basically what they do is it's like they're taking right off the Marquee and Grand Marquee and putting it into that instrument and creating a whole new organ using your same cabinet. And then there's those that, you know what, maybe I like to venture out and maybe I'd like to take an instrument that has a little different new design, or with the big screen and some of the additional features. So the the long story long is that we have options now for folks that might be interested in their next model. So we have a really phenomenal opportunity. So I've been working very closely with a person by the name of Dave Brown, who owns Critchett's Lowrey Legacy, who works closely with Bill Curry. And we have been creating some opportunities and working closely together to having transformations and wonderful inventory like this that we can offer our customers that really take your hobby to the next level. I'm going to encourage you, strongly encourage, to reach out to your personal assistant before they reach out to you. It's always better when you call them first. And ask them what the opportunities are on either the Marquee, Grand Marquee, or transforming your organ into the Symphony Silver Star, or in this case, that what Cary is doing is showing off the Liberty Gold Star. It's an absolutely wonderful product with a lot of great styles and sounds and features, and it just takes, again, your hobby to the next level. So with that said, we're going to have Cary close off the show. I have no clue what he's going to do, but what I do know is everything he does is wonderful. So take it away, Cary.
I want to do a lot of them, but there's so many good ones. But I like finishing with a good, really exciting one called Sweet Carolina. And I want you to really sing along. I want to hear it. But I want to hear the bump, bump. I want to hear Sweet Caroline, bump, bump, bump. And I want touching me. I want to hear all that. Here we go. It's a signature style. That's why it's called Sweet Carolina. Has the actual intro, the fill, the altar style. It has the horn on the lower already set up for the bump, bump, bump. Phil. Listen to that background. Drum variation. Build up. Altar style. Here we go. Good, so good. Can't hear you.
Oh, I'm muted. Give it up for Cary, everybody. And me. Hey!
Hey.
And back to Cary even some more. Hey! All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this wonderful Zoom musical with a little twist. But all in all, we had a wonderful time. We hope you did too. Call your PA and check out your next upgrade or your next transformation because it's good for you.
Yeah.
Right, Cary?
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
All right. Let's keep things going, everybody. Thank you so much and enjoy your wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. And as always, stay safe. Keep playing music. Be kind to one another. And always look at your next upgrade. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you.